Welcome to the MS&Me Radio Network. The broadcast shows are for informational and entertainment purposes only. They are not designed to provide listeners with specific personal, medical, or counseling advice. Individuals with a medical issue should always consult their healthcare provider. MS&Me is not responsible for content of individual shows. The views expressed by show hosts or their guests are their own. Enjoy the show.
Hello, my name is Shirley Merritt, and I'd like to welcome you to my show. I call it Raspberry Lemonade, Let's Talk. First of all, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for bringing me to this forum. I would also like to thank the staff of MS&Me Radio for affording me this opportunity. Today, we are going to bring back someone who I've kind of received some requests to have her back on. People want to talk with her or hear me talk to her again. Her name is Talona Shalay. She's an artist. She's a painter. She is also an author of the action-adventure novella Rags. So I would like to welcome you to my show, Talona. Hi, Talona.
Hello, Shirley. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
It's good hearing you again. It's good to be back.
It's good to talk with you again, and our listeners want to hear from you some more. And we're going to talk a little bit about what you've been doing. We're going to reiterate a little bit about what we kind of covered in the past, just so that I can familiarize our listeners with who you are. And I would like you to tell us about what you're working on now and what's upcoming for you as well. Okay.
Alrighty.
Okay. So now I know that you are a painter, and you actually have paintings, and you are you still actively painting and everything?
I paint. However, that's set aside so that I can write.
Okay. All right. And okay, so tell us a little bit about what's going on with Rags. How is that doing?
Oh my goodness, Rags! My goodness. So my action-adventure novella Rags is the story of this young, gifted child who helps others realize their worth, and in the process, she too comes to discover hers. Now, actually, Rags has gone through a tremendous transformation, and the reason why is that I myself was pushed through a transformation. While writing the book, I published it, and I've since taken it down because there are things that I need to not only fix on the novel, but the story has changed drastically, like I said. And what happened was that Shirley, as an MS patient, as an MS survivor, we go through a lot. And I didn't realize it, but I was actually depressed for a minute there, and it affected my life tremendously, including with my novella,
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't quite what I wanted in my writing skills, and my story just wasn't flowing how I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that I came to realize was because of a depression that I was going through as I was, set to come out with that novella Rags.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that us as MS patients and survivors need to realize is that that's something that we struggle with, depression, more than the general population, because we have this condition, this disease, and we we don't know what the future holds for us a lot of times. We may be in pain, and we may not be able to function like we used to, and it just can take a toll on us.
Right.
And it, in fact, took a toll on me. Actually, I didn't realize that I was depressed until one day I was walking from my kitchen into my office, and a glimmer of the sunlight was coming through, the blinds and everything. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go outside today. And now that was relevant because surely I was inside. I had totally removed myself from everything, everyone, all of my actions, all of my dealings, my engagements. I didn't realize it. And people kept saying, she's different. My children, my family, friends. And that was making me upset. I was getting upset. I didn't realize that's what was going on. So what I have ultimately done is I thought, well, you know what? This is relevant, and other survivors of MS need to know about this. So I decided to insert that experience in my life into my novel Rags. And I thought, oh, how relevant, Rags. Rags as in my story, and Rags as in that's what I was. I didn't even realize it, but I was just some, torn and frail rags because of that depression. I had no idea until that day that I walked from one room to the other and saw a glimmer of hope. And it said, you know what? Go outside today. It's okay. It's all right. And that's what's been going on.
So, you mentioned something, and I think I'm probably going to feel a little bit stupid by asking this, but so am I taking that the name Rags, is that literally what it means, that you're like MS has caused this person to feel like rags? Is that, or
absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I thought, oh, this is relevant. Rags, actually, it was before, the adventures of Rags. It was just exclusively about this story, a fictional story of this child, But after that happened, I said, you know what? I love Rags. Rags actually was inspired by one of my paintings. And I said, but that is so relevant, Rags. I didn't realize it, but I was Rags for a very long time. I didn't realize it,
Yeah.
So what I decided to do and share is that I went through this, and it's showing how my journey and everything was just off. My writing and just like I said, my engagements, my dealings, and it just took a toll on me. But I'm able to now share that, and I think that's something that others need to realize. That one, you're not alone. It happens a lot to us.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't realize that,
Yeah, a lot of people think, oh, I'm in this all by myself. I know I tend to think that way sometimes because it feels like that sometimes, And then,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And then you reach out to people. I join like support groups, or and people who are going through the same struggle. And it's not always a struggle. There are good things. I've realized some very good things out of my MS, dealings and my MS, So, but I've also had many struggles, and you tend to lean on the people that you meet while you're going through this journey, and it. So it's just okay. So go ahead, tell us. So with Rags, you said you took it off, so it's not in distribution right now, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and you're kind of like revamping it, or
absolutely.
Okay.
I'm completely revamping it. At this point, it's a non-fictional, autobiography of mine of how an author with MS battled with depression
Oh,
while she was writing this novel called Rags.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I know I had it on Kindle. It was
Correct.
on my phone, and I had to change phones because my phone broke. And
Mm-hmm.
when I realized that I wanted to pull it up and read it, it wasn't on this new phone. So I went back to Amazon, and
Mm-hmm.
because I figured I had to reload it from there, and it wasn't there either. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, so that.
That would be the reason why. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
You
And
can.
I just want, like I said, I just want to explain, like, this is allowing me to explain why it was taken down, why I didn't come out with the original story of Rags like I said I would.
Mhm.
All of this stuff happened. And I thought, well, you know what? It's also very relevant in Rags and Rags. I'm going to put it together.
Mhm.
Because people were still interested in the original story of Rags. So I said, well, I'm going to keep that aspect of Rags alive in
Mhm.
this story,
Mhm. Mhm.
and so that's what I've decided to do.
Oh wow. So, are you
Mm-hmm.
able to share with us any of the changes that you might be working on without telling us, the true story?
Well, the changes involve, as I said before, just insight on what has been what was and what is going on with me as I struggled to write this novel, this novella Rags. And I say struggle because, with that depression, Shirley, I realized that, I'm also struggling with my writing. My writing skill decreased significantly because I was depressed. I didn't realize it,
Yeah.
and I didn't know. I've never been depressed, not to my knowledge,
Right.
So, and another reason why I decided to share, it's very personal, but other people need to know about it too, because they have to know that this is something that us as MS survivors, this is what we face. This is what
Yeah.
we do. So just be aware. Others may be experiencing the same thing and not even know it, not
Right.
even realize that they're depressed.
Right. Yeah, because like I've always been told, depression is real, and I've always felt like you do. I've always felt like, well, I'm not depressed, and I
Mm-hmm,
don't think I've
mm-hmm,
ever
mm-hmm,
been depressed, even about being diagnosed with MS. But
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I've been very sad at times. You're facing a world and that's different from what you're used to living, and all of a sudden you're unable to do the things that you were used to doing, and in the same way that you used to do them. You know, um, some people have to have people do things for them. They have to be bathed and changed. Now I'm not. Thank God that I'm not to that point, but and I pray that I never will be. But I know of people who are like that. Their total independence is gone. You know,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
it definitely sounds to me like that's a good enough reason to be depressed. You know, and
Well, and
I was going to say,
uh,
yet there's still some of them are in good spirit, very good spirits.
see, that's interesting. Yes, and you're absolutely correct. And that's something else that I share because during this time, and Shirley, I don't even know when the depression started. I have a good idea, and I just say, well, when people started saying, you're different. Um, but during that time, things started to progress with my MS.
Mhm.
My signs and symptoms became more aggressive. And I'm sure that had something to do with it.
Mhm.
But the most important thing that I wanted to share with different ones both with those inflicted with MS and those who aren't, is that this thing is very, very real. It has a tremendous impact on us, and just watch out for it, because it's real. It does exist. And I know that a lot of us, both with MS and without MS, that's something that folks don't want to talk about. Depression,
Right, right. Because
especially when it's your own.
yeah, because when you talk about being depressed, the first thing others, think about is, oh, well, maybe you should see a psychiatrist, or maybe you should be on meds, some kind of, and then you're identified as mentally challenged in some way. So if you are suffering from, depression, real depression, I could see how someone wouldn't want to share that with other people.
Right. Absolutely. But
So I
you got to
wonder,
know about it.
I was going to ask you, do you know any of the real symptoms of depression? What I remember, my brother, he was depressed very, and he saw a psychiatrist, for a while, but I never had a chance to talk to him about that journey that he was going on. Do you know?
What his signs and symptoms were? Or,
Yeah, like what comes along with depression? What are
withdrawals.
withdrawal?
Just not wanting to engage any longer. That's a big one there. Just not wanting to be a part of anything. You might start thinking different, if you were the type that was motivational and motivated and inspired others, that may decrease significantly and do a 180 where you're just upset and angry.
Yeah.
So there are quite a few symptoms that you'll know. But my personal symptom, I think, was that I just didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to go out. I just wanted to be in my home by myself, And I've never been that type. I've always been a go-getter. I've always engaged with the public and the community. I've always been that kind. I was a teacher for been a teacher for the past 20 years plus. I've been involved in the community and political figures and schools and education, children, students and art programs and things like that. But I just don't want to do anything anymore.
Wow.
I just had it.
So how long do you think that lasted, where you felt that way?
Well, and that's what I was saying. I'm not sure, but I'm going to say this was a long-term one. This one was quite a few months, and that's something else that we have to be cognizant of, because with depression, it can come and go. So now that I realize this, I'm like, okay, there's a nice chance that this is going to come back, no fault of my own or anything like that, but just stuff that we're dealing with. Right now I'm reading articles and talking about stem cells for to help out with the MS, and I'm like, yeah, I want to do that. And we take these extreme measures because we don't want to deal with this.
Right.
This is something we don't want to deal with. So we're always subject to these extreme feelings and emotions and things like that. So it can happen without you even realizing. But now what I do and what I will be more sensitive to is that, okay, Talona Shalay, you're acting different. You're secluding yourself, and so possibly that's what's going on again. And next time I probably will go and talk to somebody and get some help. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing, like you said, the support groups. you
Okay.
know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like I'm a part of a support group and we meet once a month and it
Mhm.
helps to go in there and share your experiences, the good and the bad, with,
Mhm.
we actually have, we might go there one day and only have 15 people show up, and then we might go one day and have 27. So
Right.
it
Right.
varies, it depends. Sometimes it depends on the weather, whether it's raining or sunshining, and sometimes
Okay.
it depends
Okay.
on how each individual person feels.
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
whether
Mhm.
they feel.
What is the name of that forum or that group?
It's just a multiple sclerosis support group, and we meet at a place called Green Forest. It's a Baptist church, but they
Okay.
allow us to use one of their Sunday school classrooms, I guess, or whatever, for our meeting, because it's on Saturday, so they're not utilizing it. And
Mhm.
um
Mhm.
it's actually, the multiple sclerosis society has a list of different support groups in different areas, and you could, like, one could call them and just ask them, and they will email or mail that list to them, and that way you can find one in your area. That's how I found this one. That's how I found the first
Mhm.
one. The first one that
Mhm.
I ever visited, I went to, and I was like, it was like a woe is me pity party. I was like, that's not for me. And
Mm.
so
Mhm.
I didn't go back to a support group for almost a year because of that bad experience. I was like, I don't want to go into a meeting where people sit around and talk about how depressed they are and how awful it is to have this disease. I want to hear what can we do to overcome this setback that we are
Mhm.
experiencing. And I still have the desire to be out there in the world. I don't want to, just because I'm disabled now, I don't, because I was using a walker when I went to when I went to this first meeting at this first support group. I had been diagnosed for probably, over 10 years before I even went to this
Mhm.
support group.
Mm.
And I went there. I didn't like that meeting, so I went back to the drawing board and found another one. And this one I like.
Okay.
This one I like.
Okay.
And in this case, it was the second time there was a charm. Not the third, but the second.
But it was the same one. It was the same group.
No, it was a total. That's what I'm saying. That first group put a bad taste in my mouth
Okay.
for
Okay.
support groups. So I went back to the list and I found another one, and I said, okay, let
Okay.
me try this one. And this was a totally different one. And the leader of this group won't let you come in there and have a pity party. He'll let you, if you have something going on, he might let you speak about it one time, and after that,
And move
no,
on.
no more. So,
Yep. Because it is important that those that is heard. You know, because that's something else that could depress anybody altogether. Is okay, you're feeling this kind of way, and then you can't talk about it. You know, or
well,
it's
which,
not good to talk about it. But like you're saying, Shirley, fine, talk about it, get it out, but let's back it up with some positive reinforcement. You
well,
know.
and the thing with what you do for that, and what, this is a good concept that he has. At the end of every meeting, he says, "Now do your homework. Your homework is." He's a teacher. He's an educator, like yourself, and
Okay.
he says, "Now I'm giving everyone a homework assignment." He says this at the end of every meeting. He says, "Go home to your contact list." They give us a spreadsheet with everyone's name, number, and email on it. Contact someone. That's who you vent with. That's who you can talk about. When you come to the
Mhm.
meeting, you can definitely say, "Well, is anyone experiencing this?" And then we'll talk about it. But he'll say, "Okay, let's get off of the negative stuff and talk about something good and positive." But then when you go home,
Good.
pick someone to call. And they might
Right. Right. Right.
they might be able to be there for you.
Right. Right.
So we've got.
Somebody from the group.
Yeah,
You know. Mhm.
call someone from the group, from the spreadsheet, and
Mhm.
just talk with them, and call more than one. He always says how many people did their homework this month. So
Mhm.
we've got about 2.5 minutes left. So, tell us, you've got about 2.5 minutes to speak. Well, you've got about maybe 1.5 minutes to speak, and then we're going to say goodbye and sign off. But just tell us what you want to leave us with.
I want to leave everyone with that depression is real. It's something that us as MS survivors, we face daily, just because our situation is so extreme. But just be aware of it. Life isn't over. If you find that, you have been affected by it, life isn't over. There's help out there. And just be aware. Just be aware and and it's important to have that support because there's a nice chance that we as MS survivors will face that. Just be aware. You're not in this alone, So that's what I want folks to know.
And just know that there are resources out there where you can find a support group and some help if you don't have anyone. Some people have their family to lean on. In my case, I don't have anyone in my family to lean on, so I had to seek, others outside. And
Right.
But it helped me so much because without that support group, I would have become a recluse in my home. And
Right.
Now I'm not. I'm out there in the world. I get out there. So, with that being said, everyone, I want to thank you for listening to my show. I want to invite you to tune in again next week. And we want to thank Miss Talona Shalay for being here and talking with us some more. I'm sure the audience appreciates it. And, we're going to sign off now and say goodbye. Goodbye, Talona.
Goodbye, Shirley. Thank you for having me again.
You are so welcome. Okay, everybody, tune in next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.